Mixed martial arts history is filled with athletes who have made both a name and a great deal of money for themselves by mastering the art of trash talk. That said, when it comes to hostile banter, there are still a few unwritten rules most athletes adhere to. For example, insulting family members, an opponent's nationality, and/or home country are generally considered to be in poor taste. Still, that hasn't stopped several high-profile fighters from stepping over the invisible line. In this episode, we'll take a look at a group of competitors who took their trash talk just a bit too far. As always, if you guys enjoy this video, then please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Now, without further ado, and ranked in no particular order, let's take a look at 10 times trash talk went too far in MMA. Number 10. Chael Sonnen vs. Anderson Silva. The American gangster Chael Sonnen spent a good portion of his career in relative obscurity as a talented, albeit nondescript grappler. Realizing he needed to stand out from the pack, Sonnen began talking lots of trash and backing it up in the cage. His success led to a showdown with Anderson the Spider Silva, which would become one of the greatest rivalries in UFC middleweight history. For years, Sonnen taunted Silva and produced more than a few memorable lines. However, while being interviewed on the MMA show, Sonnen decided to take things to a more personal level. During the interview, Sonnen went on to take aim at Silva's wife, saying this:
"You tell Anderson Silva I'm coming over, I'm kicking his back door, and I'm patting his old lady on the ass, and I'm telling her to make me a steak, medium rare, just how I like it."
In response to the comment, after Silva scored a TKO victory over his rival at UFC 148, the Spider invited his vanquished foe over for a barbecue, which was a nice gesture to bury the hatchet. Number 9. Conor McGregor vs. Dennis Siver. Few competitors in the history of modern combat sports have made more money with their mouths than the notorious Conor McGregor. The Irishman's quick wit and sharp tongue have helped him become the biggest name in mixed martial arts. Still, McGregor has admittedly crossed the line on multiple occasions with some of his remarks. Leading up to his 2015 showdown with German fighter Dennis Siver, the notorious one taunted his opponent by posting this on social media. Obviously, calling someone a Nazi is a serious allegation, and the comment was seen as going a bit overboard. As such, McGregor would end up deleting the post and even issued a half-hearted apology. As for the bout itself, Siver would end up being TKO'd in the second round when the two met at UFC Fight Night 59. Number 8. Bethe Correia vs. Ronda Rousey. Brazil's Bethe Correia got off to a hot start in the UFC, winning her first 3 bouts with the promotion on her way to compiling an undefeated 9-0 record. 2 of her victories in the octagon came against Ronda Rousey's close friends and training partners Jessamyn Duke and Shayna Baszler. Having already defeated 2 of the 4 horsewomen, Bethe Correia was ready to challenge their leader, Ronda Rousey, for the women's bantamweight title. Unfortunately, leading up to the contest, the challenger hit below the belt with her remarks. In a pre-fight interview, Correia stated that she hoped Ronda Rousey wouldn't commit suicide in the event that she lost. Of course, the then UFC champion had been very public about the fact that her father, Ron Rousey, had committed suicide when she was a young girl. Given her opponent's backstory, Correia received a great deal of backlash for the comment. Despite the heated buildup, when the two collided at UFC 190, it would take Ronda Rousey just 34 seconds to finish her rival by knockout. Number 7. Colby Covington vs. Brazil. During his early UFC run, Colby Chaos Covington was, and still is, a talented and successful fighter. However, the former Division I wrestler wasn't standing out from the crowd or generating much interest from fans. To help garner some attention, Covington decided to adopt a supervillain persona, which he debuted following a 2017 bout with Demian Maia. After defeating Maia in Brazil, Covington famously shouted that Brazil was a dump and referred to his residents as filthy animals.
"Brazil, you're a dump! All you filthy animals suck!"
As a result of his comments, Covington had to be escorted backstage by 10 security guards while the crowd pelted him with various objects. While the controversial comments may have put him in immediate danger, they also mark the beginning of his transformation into one of the sport's most talked about figures. Number 6. Michael Johnson vs. Justin Gaethje. Michael the Menace Johnson and Justin the Highlight Gaethje were scheduled to headline the Ultimate Fighter 25 finale in July of 2017. While there was plenty of buzz surrounding what would be Gaethje's UFC debut, there was also a bit of controversy prior to the bout. During the UFC's International Fight Week in 2017, the two had been separated by security when Johnson made some less than flattering comments about his opponent's mother, while also referring to the Highlight as an inbred.
Did your mom have sex with her brother to have you, or was it your cousin or something? Because you're the most inbred piece of I've ever seen in my life. So who? Did your mom You're her brother or your sister's brother or somebody?
As one might expect, several media outlets felt that Johnson's remarks were outside the bounds of appropriate pre-fight trash talk. Whatever the case, the two would produce 2017's Fight of the Year, with GAETHJE ultimately winning the contest with a dramatic second-round TKO. Number 5. Conor McGregor vs. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Even the most casual MMA fans know that there is no love lost between the notorious Conor McGregor and Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov. After they had their memorable scuffle at UFC 229, the two rivals continued to go back and forth on social media. When Khabib posted a picture of his wife wearing a traditional Dagestani veil over her head on their wedding day, McGregor was all too quick to respond. In a tweet directed at his adversary's photo, the Irishman shared the image and responded by saying that his wife was a towel, a comment that was met with severe backlash from many in the MMA community. Unsurprisingly, the tweet was deleted shortly after. Besides insulting a man's wife, many pundits also viewed the comment as culturally insensitive. Though there is still plenty of animosity between the MMA legends, Khabib's recent retirement makes a potential rematch highly unlikely. Number 4. Frank Mir vs. Brock Lesnar. Former UFC heavyweight champion Frank Mir never minced words when it came to his rival Brock Lesnar, a man he went 1-1 against in a pair of fights at UFC 81 and 100, respectively. That said, Mir got a bit carried away in a 2010 interview following their second encounter. During the conversation, Mir stated that he hoped Lesnar became, quote, the first person that dies due to octagon-related injuries.
So I want to fight Lesnar. I hate who he is as a person. I want to break his neck in the ring. I want him to be the first person that dies due to octagon-related injuries. That's what's going through my mind.
The remark drew heavy criticism from the MMA community. Even UFC President Dana White chimed in, saying he was disappointed by Mir's comments. Realizing he had gone too far, Frank Mir publicly apologized to Brock Lesnar and his family. Number 3. Jon Jones vs. Daniel Cormier. As one might expect, it's the most bitter feuds that often produce the most inappropriate remarks.
Hey, are you still there?
With that in mind, it's no surprise that longtime enemies Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier have had some harsh words for one another. Though they had 2 chances to settle their differences inside the octagon, the bad blood unfortunately never boiled over. In 2018, a heated social media exchange began when DC mocked Jones's excuse for a failed drug test leading up to his rematch with Alexander Gustafsson. As a result, Jones fired back in a now-deleted tweet with a post that took aim at both DC and his wife. Unsurprisingly, Cormier responded in similar fashion, stating that Jones couldn't do anything while also firing a shot at his wife. Fortunately, for all parties involved, there was no inappropriate touching of any sort following the exchange. Number 2. Tony Ferguson vs. Charlie Rader. Those who follow the Ultimate Fighter reality series know that plenty of altercations amongst cast members end up happening outside the cage. One such incident occurred between Tony Ferguson and Charlie Rader during the 13th season of the hit show. A friendly tussle between the two ended up causing Ferguson to lose his cool, tackling Rader and putting a forearm across his face. However, things would get even more personal when Tony asked his fellow contestant where his kid was, referencing Rader's son.
Where's your kid at? Where's your kid at? Where's your kid at? Don't say it. Hey, where's your kid at? Don't say it.
Given that Rader had been involved in a custody battle for over a year to see his child, the comment was thought to be in very poor taste. The comment only caused things to escalate further, with both men having to be restrained by teammates. In an interview with SB Nation, Ferguson would confess that he said some things he shouldn't have during his time in the Ultimate Fighter house. Number 1. Chael Sonnen vs. Tito Ortiz. Given that Chael Sonnen and Tito Ortiz are well known for being controversial figures, it's no surprise that the lead-up to their fight at Bellator 170 was filled with at least some trash talk. That said, it would end up being Sonnen who decided to take his trash talk game to the extreme in the pre-fight press conference. During the scrum, Tito Ortiz claimed that Chael Sonnen used his mouth to get his opportunities, which prompted Sonnen to respond with a bit of a low blow, saying this.
Tito always says I'm using my mouth to get my opportunities. The only person I know that made money using their mouth is his ex-wife.
Of course, Sonnen was referring to former adult film star Jenna Jameson, the mother of Ortiz's children.
You're a punk, dude. That's what you call class right here compared to no class.
That was a nasty line.
No
by
class.
Me.
No class at all. That's why you see him with thongs and jeans and a t-shirt. No class.
They don't call you the bad guy for nothing.
However, when the two finally met in the cage, Ortiz would defend his ex's honor by choking out Sonnen in the very first round. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Apart from that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.